Now, in a special focus, after residents of Lulekani and Limpopo took to the streets last year over a lack of water supply, the Mopani District Municipality decided to provide a short-term solution. It came at a cost of 2.4 million rand, 13 JoJo tanks, concrete steel to hold up the tanks, a pump and pipework is the deal the municipality got, and still the taps of the residents run dry. Community members say every official they seek answers from have no solutions or answers. The municipality conceded to eNCA this week it's a failed project, but doesn't believe it was a waste of taxpayers' money. I spoke to one of the community leaders.
Here is a big problem. At this point, lot of government don't give us the service. I don't know what's the problem. The problem, I think, can be the councillor or can be a municipality. We complain lot. We were having a meeting here to get our own legal pipe to get water here. But the people don't have the money to afford to pay. I think the cost for that it was supposed to get this village was supposed to get the water was 75,000. We can have the water, but people don't have the money. It was supposed to make a legal connection from the big reservoir.
And government won't let you? No money?
The problem is the community don't have the money to pay.
So the community just sits without water?
We sit a long time without water. Even now, there's no water here. There's no water. You can go check one of these houses, there's no water. And we have a flushing toilet. How are you supposed to live if you don't have water in a flushing toilet? Huh? That's a big problem.
eNCA asked the local municipality responsible to respond to the claims that this project costs millions of rand and still there is no water in the community. The municipality says it's not true that the community hasn't had water for over 12 years.
JoJo tank infrastructure just behind you. The community alleges this cost 9 million rand. Can the municipality explain to us how much it cost and why it cost that amount?
Look, this water infrastructure here cost around 2.4 million, and that is inclusive of VAT. Perhaps we should go further to just indicate as to why we had to move in and construct this infrastructure. We've had some unrest in this community because our water supply in this particular community is not 100%. And we're trying to respond to that particular situation as a short-term intervention, necessarily because we do have a multi-year project that has been approved by COCTA at a value of 222 million. That should assist us to refurbish the system, build proper water storage facilities in this community. We have had some exponential growth in this particular community. If you go south to where we are standing now, you will realize that there's new settlement. We have had that growth. And because we had hoped that we'll start with this big project around 2018, now the community has been struggling, necessarily because we also have some unauthorized connections on the bulk pipeline, the rising main from the water treatment plant to the command reservoir, which has impacted in terms of how we should be supplying water to this community.
Okay.
But
okay, I get it. But just tell me, I need clarity on. You've just said this cost 2.4 million. Yes. What cost 2.4 million behind you?
Look, besides these storage tanks that you see, which is 130,000 liters, we have done a pipeline that joins the rising main and a booster pump station. The idea was so that when we get water from the command reservoir, we are able to redirect it so that this particular section of the community, which is Lulekani B section, is able to also benefit. I must admit, and I'm conceding, it has not worked the way we had hoped it would work. And now we are even thinking we should at least come and drill a borehole that should augment the water supply that comes from the command reservoir or the water treatment plant.
Okay, so you're conceding that this didn't work. Why was it built in the first place? You have spent 2.4 million rand. I still don't understand on what, because my calculation, it's about 8,500 for 13 for 13 JoJo tanks. The steel structure, let's just be generous and say this cost under 500,000 rand. And what's even more shocking is that the residents still don't have water.
No, it's not correct that they don't have water.
I've just spoken to community. No, just hold on. I've just spoken. Let me finish. Just let me finish.
Okay.
We have just spoken to community members. There's a community member right here, and that has just told us they'll get water at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it will last until about 10 o'clock in the evening, and then they won't have water for another 2 days. The community members are telling me this, and you saying it's incorrect.
That is why I'm saying inadequate. You will understand. When I'm saying inadequate, I'm actually referring to that, to say that it's not adequate. That is why we are saying that the long-term sustainable solution to the problem here is that project that I was speaking about. We are already ahead in terms of planning. We have advertised the tender. We are starting this financial year with that particular project. This, like I said, was a short-term intervention. And you'll know, when you are facing pressure from the community like we were, there were unrest, protests, this road was closed at some point. We're responding to that particular situation. We could not say we have that inherent responsibility and obligation as a district municipality to provide water to our people. And that is what we're trying to do. It could not have worked 100% as we had hoped, but we're trying to respond to that particular situation.
So the community, okay, short-term intervention, great, I get that. But the community has just said that it's almost over 12 years that they haven't had water. So it had to reach a point where there's unrest in the community, roads are blocked, your community members are unhappy. It's your responsibility, as you just said, as government, to provide water. After 12 years, you do something that's not working.
It cannot be 12 years. That much I can tell you.
So the community's lying?
Yes, I can tell you it cannot be 12 years. What I'm saying to you is that we're responding to, we built this thing around 2020, October. And this we're only responding because we're responsive government. You will know, you were interviewing the task team here. They will tell you we had meetings with them. Even last month we were here meeting with the task team. They will tell you we're able to outline to say if we are to resolve these problems of water supply here, we need to implement that long-term project, a multi-year project that we are starting with, because it is the only way. We're having an old dilapidated infrastructure that is not able to cope. Besides the unauthorized connections that we have on the rising main, the infrastructure itself is old. And this was just short-term intervention, and I wish to repeat that. It has not necessarily worked 100% as we had hoped that it would. That is why I did indicate to you we had a booster pump station there, and the idea was that as and when water is going through from the command reservoir, we are able to redirect it, but it has not worked 100%. And we are saying it to you now that it has not worked 100%. We need to look at other alternatives. And the other alternatives may be that in the meantime, as and when that long-term project is implemented, we may need to come and drill a borehole that will actually assist in augmenting the water supply here.
So would you say that the 2.4 million has gone to waste?
No, I wouldn't say that. It has worked to a particular extent. We're just saying it's not 100%, and we look to find ways to correct that.
When will you find ways to correct that? Because you saying what the community is saying is not true, but we've spoken to a few community members now, and they've said they haven't had water for over 12 years. They've had to spend thousands of rands to find ways to get water. When is your plan to fix this? Because you're saying this is a short-term intervention, like the problem just arose.
No, it's what I'm disputing is the 12 years. I'm not saying they don't have problems, Heidi. I'm saying we are disputing the 12 years. We are conceding water supply here is not 100% perfect, and we are trying to find the best way to address the problem. And you will know, like I indicated to you, we had hoped that this project, the long-term project that we were speaking about, 222 million, would have started somewhere around 2018. But we didn't get the funds. Remember, COCTA has to approve the funding through your DWS so that we begin with the work. It's only now that they are saying we are giving you 40 million to start implementation of that program, and we are ready. We have already advertised the tender. It is closed. We hope to appoint so that we begin with the work so that these people have consistent supply of water.
There were concerns raised also that the tender process around this JoJo tank project was irregular.
Well, we have gone through the emergency procurement because there were service delivery protests here. And you cannot go through the normal tender process of having to appoint, having to advertise for a particular number of days. The accounting officer is empowered through Regulation 36 to procure services, through Regulation 36 to procure services when an emergency arises. And that is how we have gone, because there were service delivery protests here. People were not able to go to work. We had to respond to that particular situation.
So
and that report has gone to council for condonment.
When will the community have running water for more than one day?
Look, you talk running water for more than one day. We're doing the best that we can.
eNCA has obtained the invoice that the Mopani District Municipality paid to a local business for this water project. As you can see on your screen, more than 2 million rand was spent on this project. We have contrasted this to an invoice from a company who supplies such material. They were able to quote us under 700,000 rand. eNCA has asked the municipality for the scope of work done and is still waiting for this document.